Well, hello.
Welcome back to our podcast.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
welcome.
you guys joined us. I'll tell you, and we got a wonderful, heart loving story
We
to
do.
share with
We
you.
do. Yes.
We've
Yes.
been excited about this and talking about, wanting to share this with you. But anyway, welcome back, and I hope you've enjoyed our podcast up till now.
Yeah.
And we're going to, as Mrs. Claus said on our last one, we're going to be doing this 2 times a month
Yes.
around the 10th and the 24th. So please join us for as many as you can on this. And you can always catch us up on YouTube or any podcast platform.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Yeah.
by all means. So today we,
Yes.
we left off talking about the wonderful things we've done with the fire department of San Clemente.
Yes. Yes.
But
yes.
and trust me when I say there's plenty more fire departments we're going to be talking about because
Yeah,
we've moved
that's
around the
true.
country and we've gotten involved in each one.
Yes.
Because we enjoy it so much and they enjoy having
Well,
us.
and Santa and fire trucks kind of go together, don't
They really do. Next to a sleigh, I think a fire truck
Truck is
is
the next
pretty
big
much
thing.
the
Yeah,
next best
yeah,
thing you can
yeah.
get around in. So anyway, we were talking about how we had gone out amongst the community and given gifts and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And it really got us thinking and spurring on. And we've been very active in our church and such. And we
Well,
came.
I think the other thing, and just briefly, is because before we did that, one of the things is we had chaired the very first and second Relay for Life in San Clemente.
For the
So,
American Cancer Society.
Yes, so we actually had made a lot of contacts
Yes.
through that, through
Great
the city.
many.
We met obviously the mayor and other people within the city of San Clemente, but also a lot of
Parks and Rec and all of that.
restaurant owners and different
Yep.
businesses to help us with that. And so we had kind of made a bit of a name that we knew a lot of people. And we actually were at the San Clemente post office. We were mailing some things for our business.
Mm-hmm.
And the gal there was talking about that they had a box
Yes.
in the post office
In the
itself,
lobby.
in the
Mhm.
lobby for letters from Santa.
Yeah. Letters to
Or
Santa.
not from, yes, you're right. Letters
Letters
to
to
Santa.
Santa.
Yes.
And families were encouraged to drop their letters off
Yeah.
and stuff. And we said, "Now, what do you do with those?" And she just kind of smiled and winked, and I said,
yeah, send them to the North Pole.
"We sent them
Yeah.
to the North Pole."
Yeah.
And I said,
Well, and then we
perhaps we'd like to take a look at some of
Yeah.
these if we would be allowed.
so she introduced us to the postmistress right there.
Yes.
And so that's how kind of a little germ of an idea started. And we started talking about, how many letters do you get? And again, what you do with them. And this did come after we had taken that ride with the fire department, because it had opened our eyes to the need in the community. San Clemente is not necessarily known. There's a lot of
There's a lot of affluence,
Yes.
but there's also a lot of people that either work at the military base or aren't as affluent as the others. And there was a lot of need in that community.
There was.
And the postmistress, bless her soul, she says, "Well, there's other post offices nearby too."
Yeah.
And she wound up getting us involved in San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano, and then later on Mission Viejo contacted us and said, "Can we jump on this too?" And we wound up getting just a lot of letters with needs that couldn't be met by the family, and they were looking for help from Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Well, and partly how that evolved was we had sat down with the postmistress, talked about that, and then we actually had sat and put together some ideas and thoughts, and then met with the newspaper.
Yes.
And we asked if they could put something in their newspaper to alert folks that needed help,
families with need,
that needed some help with
that Santa would be reviewing letters and looking at gift requests and such.
Yes, and to put in more than, if they needed more than just toys, to clothes or shoes or whatever that they required. And so we did that, and then we also had a call for volunteers.
Yes.
And our local church gave us a room that we could have a meeting.
Yes.
And so we thought, this would.
We thought if we could,
help
a couple families or that kind of thing, that would be really, really fun.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
An explosion happened.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, community leaders, groups. We had a women's group that came in and said, we do something every single month for the community, and we want you to be our beneficiary for this month.
Right.
And there was just tremendous outreach.
And a lot of individuals came. And so, we had I can't remember now. We had at least one meeting a week, but we might have even had a couple.
Yeah.
Where we were having people come in and, if you will, adopt a letter or letters, whatever they wanted to do. Again, that was completely voluntary on their side, and so.
And then we were contacted by that one community in Talega. It's amazing. They have all these gorgeous, huge homes.
Right.
But right behind that was actually a community center that was kind of basically set up for the military, but it had
it was lower income
all forms of
apartments that they built, and so we realized that there was quite a large need there as well. And in particular, a lot of the military families live there because, again, for those that don't know, San Clemente is right next to Camp Pendleton, the Marine base, which is a huge.
And we were already doing stuff with that, with the camp,
We were, but it literally abuts Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of military that lived there.
Well, to make a long story a little bit shorter, we wound up getting restaurants. We wound up getting all kinds of help from the fire department, which, by the way, I arrived on that big hook and ladder again.
We were going to say that to the end, but he jumped ahead.
I like to jump ahead. You know me. I'm always moving forward.
But yeah, it was a combination. We had some people come in, and I remember there was one woman that she said, "Do you have any letters any requests for shoes?" And we said, "Well, yeah, actually we did."
Yeah,
and we
had some.
And let me back up a minute. We really got a wonderful response from those people that needed help, and some of the letters were really heartbreaking. I mean, you'd read about, I need for diapers, or a need for a job, or a need for, I'm writing not for me. I'm writing for my younger sister or brother or something. But anyway, there were several letters there that requested shoes. And this woman relayed that when she was young, she didn't have shoes. And so her kind of mission in life really was to anytime anybody needed shoes, she that's what she wanted to do. She was gonna,
At least
supply
make sure
people.
they had good
They had
shoes
something
for
on their
their
feet.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So there was some of those kinds of things where people were buying more individual things for other parts of the community,
Right.
and also San Juan Capistrano
Correct.
and Mission Viejo. We had kind of expanded, as Joe
Yeah,
said.
it got big.
Everybody just started jumping on it,
Yep.
and it got to be. Uh,
We helped so many families we could not physically go out ourselves and
no,
go to.
couldn't.
So the people that were getting the letters and filling the requests were going out on their own
Yes,
and taking
yes.
gifts and doing things.
Yeah, because initially we thought,
it wound up to be hundreds.
well, we thought, yeah, we could go out and as part of the program, we could, go with these people if they wanted, and help deliver gifts to the community. But that became unrealistic pretty early on.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, even we usually had a very busy Santa season, and we even had to cut back a little bit from that because
Yes.
this just
We had to curtail
Rude.
our own personal visits and stuff because we just didn't have enough time to go
No,
everywhere and
and
do everything.
uh,
Which
you
was
know,
okay.
yeah, and
You
it
know?
was. I mean, it was one of those things that we didn't really expect, and we didn't expect to have to organize how big it got. We thought, again, I don't know what we were thinking. Maybe 25, 50 letters. I don't know. Sometimes you get involved in things and you don't always really think it through. We just thought it was a swell idea. And so, the logistical side of it became huge, really, because we had to, find out places, to meet with the people to adopt the letters. And then, as Joe said, then it started to, people started to talk about, at this other low income housing to, maybe we could go there.
I want to get into that, but let's take a
Yeah.
quick break
Oh, that's, yeah.
and
Yeah.
do a quick commercial for ourselves
We
because
will.
we like to keep things going on our end
Yeah.
at this side. So we'll be right back with the rest of the story in just a moment.
Do you wish that Christmas could last all the year round, no matter which country you're in? With Traditionally Speaking, Tom Christie and Santa Joe Moore explore all of the different traditions of Christmas time, both in the United States, in Scotland, and all over the world.
So join us and learn some traditions for yourself.
You can find us on all of your favourite podcasting platforms, whether it be here, there, or anywhere. So find us wherever you like to listen to podcasts, and we'll be there at Traditionally Speaking.
Welcome
And
back.
we're back.
Welcome back.
Well, and just as we're starting to get into it, the biggest thing that we did do, and believe me, there was a lot, but the biggest thing we did do was that Talega community,
Yes. Yes.
which literally had hundreds of people living there, and we put on a Christmas party.
Yes, we did.
Basically.
We did. Yes.
And
yes.
now can I talk about the fire engine?
Well,
No.
no, let's talk about we had well, actually, no, we didn't have to. So many people came up to us, and we had actually
was cool.
restaurants come and say, if you're gonna have this party, we would like to provide food.
We'll cater it.
And I don't remember I know the whole community thing was filled. I don't know how we probably had at least there a couple hundred people at that party.
We had like 300 to 400 people
Yeah, at that party. We
I mean,
really
their clubhouse was jammed. I mean, absolutely
Yeah, so
jammed.
we
Big
had-
tree, presents,
oh
all kinds of
All
presents,
kinds of presents,
wrapped
just-
and under the tree
yeah, and
for different people with their names on it. The whole
yeah, we had
enchilada.
and there were several restaurants that stepped forward
Mhm.
again and volunteered to provide food.
Drinks.
So we
Mhm.
were there,
Yeah.
and then yes, and Santa arrived.
in the big hook and ladder
Yeah,
again, and
yeah.
the fire department came and they unloaded a whole bunch of
Yes,
gifts.
they did. They
Because
did.
again,
Sparks
this
of Love.
was that Sparks of Love thing,
Yes.
and they said, whatever
We're
we could do
gonna
with
yes,
kids,
we're
you know.
gonna
And then-
give to this project as well.
And then we had a sporting goods outfit that I can't name
No,
because it
But-
wouldn't be fair, but this community had a huge rec area.
yes,
And they had, tennis courts and basketball courts and everything, and not so much as a tennis ball.
yeah, or basketball, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Well, this sporting company came in and they gave baseball equipment,
basketball,
baseballs and gloves,
yeah.
basketballs, volleyballs.
They outfitted it. They really
everything.
did.
Everything you can
they
think of,
completely
They
outfitted it.
brought
Yeah.
everything. And it was just,
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
a wonderful. So this community now had ways to keep these kids happy after
Yeah,
school
yeah.
and doing things,
Yes.
in the
yes.
afternoon. They brought games galore.
Oh, yeah.
my
they're-
gosh.
I mean, they really. It was humbling to really do this because, you didn't. Half the stuff we didn't even ask for. People just came forward and said, "What can we do? Where do you see a need?"
Yeah. What do you
And
need?
so we would say, well, like we told this one outfit that said, we'd like to do how, do they need any sports equipment? And we did go in and check and found out that they
They didn't have
desperately
anything.
needed that. There were also some wonderful people. That there was another need for monetary, that some of these folks were going to lose their apartment if they didn't have the rent paid. And so there was quite a few that stepped
So
up to the plate
rents
for that.
were paid.
And rents
utilities
were paid.
were
Utilities, yes, that's another, yes.
There were a
Yes,
lot of them
utilities
that were
were paid.
behind on their electric bill or their water
Exactly.
bill or that.
Yeah.
And those
Uh-huh.
got taken care
Yes,
of. I mean,
yes.
it was.
Yeah, it was really humbling to not only help the community, and again, sometimes you really have no idea, really don't have any idea how what the need is in a community until you do something like this. And while we had seen a little bit of that riding around with the fire department on Christmas, this was huge.
Oh yeah.
And to see so many people step up, and just out of the blue, well, there was a lot of people we did not know, we had no contact with, and I think at the end of the day, we figured we helped. What was about 1,200 families throughout the three cities.
3 communities.
And it was way, as I said, way more than what we thought we were getting into. But and yeah, I mean, it took a tremendous amount of time and effort to coordinate all this, because it was a huge. It was, and it was just you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, we really didn't have anybody to help us, so we were pretty much.
We had some helpers that were going through letters and
Yeah,
stuff and
but-
bringing them to our attention that
but
this one
mostly
was,
it was
but
just
mostly
yeah.
it was you and I doling out and contacting
yeah.
people and saying, you want to take this or
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of letters, you want to
Right,
come by
right.
and look at them. But
But
let me tell you, the end result
yes,
was just
yes.
so gratifying, and it just.
And obviously, as I'm sure you can tell, that was, oh, gosh, 20. It's got to be about 20-ish years
About
ago.
18, yeah.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
But that still stays in our hearts, and it was. We were so fortunate that we actually were able to do that. You know how, again.
And it did spur actions and activities
Yes.
on a go forward
Yes.
basis. I mean,
Yes.
that wasn't just that one year and thank you very much and we're off.
No.
It was one of those things that just kept going.
Yeah.
Not quite as big as that first year. It was amazing, but
Yes,
but
it did.
nonetheless, we helped a tremendous amount of families over the years just by getting that started. And I'll tell you, sometimes all you need is somebody to light the flame.
Well, yeah, and like I said,
you can really start a bonfire.
We didn't have any high expectations of that. We were just thinking, well, if somebody's writing a letter to Santa, maybe it should go to Santa, and maybe we can, meet the needs.
It was that fire department's fault.
It was probably because we thought, well, and that was small.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I think we had that in our head. We were thinking,
well, yeah, there's probably, like I said, I think initially
there's probably
we
a few
thought,
families that need help.
I think we thought 25, 50, something like that, and we thought, well, that's doable. That's we can get some help, but yes,
Hundreds
it is.
hundreds.
It was they say, you get what you give, and we were given so much.
Oh, so many people jumped in.
So much for us personally, from the standpoint of knowing that you were able to help that many people. I mean, that was just.
And to do that even once. I mean, we felt good after the Relay for Life thing that we had done, because we raised about.
Well, 80,000 the first year, which was the baby relay.
Yeah,
and I think
100,000 the second. 160,000
the second year. So
so we had raised some significant monies for the American Cancer Society, and we felt really good about that. But this was because you touched them directly and individually.
Yeah, I think this was much more personal, and this was, of course, something that. Again, we started, but yes, the payback for us was so much.
I mean, we've really been blessed as far as a lot of the things we've done, from the women's shelters to the communities, to different things that we. And I'll tell you, those always stick in my head well and above any commercial ventures we've done, or any
is true.
individual visits or that type of thing. I mean,
and it is
just going to Camp Penn and giving all those thousands of kids toys. I mean, that was just incredible.
It is wonderful to see the joy of somebody's face, and to see that,
and realize you made a difference.
Yeah, and realize that on some of those people it wasn't just toys. In fact, there was a lot of those presents under the tree were clothes and diapers and underwear and socks and all kinds of things that people really needed. And so it was so gratifying to end up being part of that. So we were fortunate.
I guess the moral of this is, what I'm trying to get by is, you'd be amazed the difference you can make.
Yes, it is
just
true.
putting forth a little effort.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what you would get in return, because it's so huge. So if you have the opportunity to help others, it'll mean more to you than anything you'll ever receive from
that's true.
a material standpoint. And certainly it's been that way for us.
Yes.
So, well, I think that's enough on that.
I think that's good.
I think that covers that pretty well. So, in the meantime, stay tuned and come back for another podcast.
We're not really sure what we're going to do the next time. We've got
We have so many stories.
we
to
do.
tell.
We also have we're talking about the fire engines, but we've also been in a lot of parades, and so not sure
The
what
Western
we're going to
White
talk about.
House.
Yeah, that
You
that
know,
yeah, we
Nixon's
might
Western
talk about
White-
that one.
Yeah, we might
So,
talk about that next.
but
But
yes, and you know we're not only obviously as Joe said earlier on YouTube and all the podcast platforms, but we invite you to visit our website www.thenorthpolepress.com, and you can see some of our other things there as well. So
Yes, and don't forget our Etsy stores.
yes, yes, Santa's Magic Chest.
And Treasures by
Treasures
Mrs.
by
Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Anyway, thank you for joining
Yes,
us. We
thank
hope
you
you
so much.
enjoyed this, and do something good for others.
Yes.
Because it'll make you feel good.
yes, it will.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.